listening to I Feel For You. I'm Dionne, a creative coach, yoga and movement and meditation teacher, rule breaker, DJ, writer, and human being making the things she wants to see in the world. Aren't we all? Let's. This is a podcast that explores life, feelings, courage, moments. We're into dismantling the boundaries of wellness that keep us small and tied up in shoulds and boring snooty stuff. We all deserve to feel better. So in celebration of that, I'd like to welcome you to recline regally somewhere. Take a moment to dance in your majesty and to feel free. I wish that for you. However, if you're stuck in a tube carriage or in gallons of traffic someplace, or washing the dishes, perhaps forage out a little bit of space amidst the cray. You are welcome and appreciated. Have you lot met my alter ego Ethel? I mention her enough. Please refer to previous episodes. My kink is dressing up as her and channeling her energy as I move through the house/world. So in honour of this unapologetic muse, this episode is about stepping out of our comfort zones and how an Ethel costume or persona or alter ego can help us to have more courage to take up space, to move forwards and to speak our truth and to feel free to do you. So if you're feeling a little stuck, either due to imposter syndrome or just lacking the gusto to move forwards, and you're up for some weird creative inspiration, then you're in the right place. I really hope you dig. Thanks so much for listening.
My God, she's escaped.
No, Bruce, no!
So on facing the difficult situation of unblocking one's pipes, which isn't a euphemism. Oh dear, that went downhill fast. You know what I mean, how to speak when things feel difficult. Or we could put it into another context, how to do something when you're afraid of doing it. I guess what I'm learning in a somewhat excruciating way, and also a possibly equally excruciatingly public way, is to just get on with it. I know it's similar to the themes in my first podcast, and it was about this topic, and perhaps I should just go off and listen to that right now and take some of my own advice. Let's call this episode Just Do the Damn Thing Already Part 2, with some arguably superficial layers of advice that I find useful if it all feels too much. So you ready? Okay, so when I'm feeling stuck, I think the best thing I can do for myself is to put on a costume. Really. You all know my alter ego Ethel, right? She's a feisty minx and really and truly only comes out on occasion these days. I miss her. She loves a glass of port and to dance on tables. She likes young people and dishes out spicy advice without giving an F. I like to think she's a mix of some of my favourite muses like Eartha Kitt and Prince and Jennifer Lewis, with a sprinkling of Maya Angelou's cutting wit. So Ethel, wow. She's the costume that I wear. I mean, of course, she's kind of a part of me because we all have different aspects of our personality, right? Ethel is the one that helps me give less Fs. She tells me to stick my middle finger up, manicured and adorned with jewels, and to focus on the things she wants to do, regardless of what anyone else thinks. She also speaks up for the things she believes in. She is brave and real, and also a little bougie. But she has a wicked sense of humour. Putting myself into the Ethel mindset forces me to examine something from a different perspective. It takes me out of the fear self and into something else. She creates space where there previously wasn't. And this shift is the key to getting unstuck. Asking, what would Ethel do? If I'm in a situation when I'm really stuck, I don't hesitate to put on a gown and some kind of shoe that makes me feel regal and in the zone. I put on music that she loves. I drape myself on Harold the sofa and ask Ethel for advice. What is real and true right now? And what do I need to help me to move forward? Imposter syndrome is so real and can really hold us back. So why not lean into that instead and see what happens? A lot of people get hung up on who they think they should be. Like, they have this story in their heads that says, I'm not the kind of person that usually does that, or I wouldn't take that kind of risk or put myself out there, or that's not for me, or that's not very Norwegian of me, that's not very, I don't know, of me, it's not very upper class of me. Who says that? You know what I mean, right? So it can be useful to have another persona that's closer to what you want to be, and to consider how that person would behave, or what they would choose to do, where they would travel to, who they would talk to, and even with creating something and showing it to someone, that person that dares to be vulnerable and visible, open to whatever. Having a persona like Ethel is a reminder of not putting limits on myself so much, or holding myself back. Being limitless. Because that's where a lot of us get stuck, creatively or otherwise. We keep doing the same things over and over and hide ourselves and hold ourselves back, and we think we're not the person that can do that, you know? But it's not true. Having a specific name that is another version of you is a reminder to remember to step out of your comfort zone in ways. So usually my Ethel costume helps. And I take her into public too. Some of you have met her. Some of you on retreats have met her. And I know some of you also have these personas. Ethel makes me braver. I feel like when I'm in the Ethel zone, I'm prone to even more potent adventures, and I see the world differently. I keep coming back to this idea of being brave, and I'm asking myself, what is it to be braver, really? And I think a lot of it is about showing up, being present, which is really, really hard to do if you are feeling stuck. And when you're stuck, it tends to be a stuckness that's in the head, energetically, right? I mean, that's where fear and worry resides. Do you know what I mean? In the head. And not just in the head, of course. It gets stuck in the body too, but when we're in our thinking brain, our energy is in the upper regions of the body, and it ungrounds us, takes us away from our center. And it tends to carry us down roads with lots of stories and scenarios that aren't necessarily true. What is true is being in the now. I don't mean to go all Eckhart on you. I know you already know this stuff. I'm just reminding you. Mirroring back some truth amidst my unfurling, amidst unclogging my drains. That sounds awful. Someone told me once that I laugh like a drain. It's quite true. Laughing is good for us. I miss laughing. I'm going to look at some memes. Okay, I'm back. But do you know what? Humour in all of this is crucial. Okay, so it's not always appropriate, I hear you, but laughing always makes us feel better. This life thing, it's really about learning to laugh at ourselves, surely, right? It's absurd. And now I'm thinking about The Good Place. Are any of you watching that? I'm going off on one now, so I'm going to depart from this unhinged and unplanned ramble and upload it before I chicken out. I'm also going to continue showing up and just seeing what happens. And I'm going to link you to episode 1 of the podcast in case you need a more focused pep talk in just doing the damn thing already. Oh, and I set up an email for the show, so you can tell me what you think about things if you feel like it. The email is ifeelforyoupodcast@gmail.com. I do not know if this stuff is useful at all for you, but I really hope it is. Thank you so much for listening. If you're not already on my mailing list, which is for the digest, head to my site dionne.space. You can find the sign up form there. You can also go to dionne.space/digest. And finally, with regards to coaching, I'm fully booked now until May, but if you do want to get involved and you want to work together to explore some of these crazy ideas about life and figure out how to find your flow, how to move forward and to live it most abundantly, it can also be very focused on a specific project or task or career focused thing or wellness focused thing. All the details are on dionne.space/coaching. That's it for now, but meet me online. You can email me, or maybe let's hang out on Instagram. I'm lurking on there quite a bit, making really ridiculous stories. Sorry about that. Maybe you'll get used to me. It's instagram.com/Dionne with 7 underscores. And if you're wondering how to spell my name, it's like Dionne Warwick, Dionne. That's all for now. Thank you so much for listening. I really appreciate you. I feel for you.